Good morning, everybody. It's 3 o'clock in the morning here in Glasgow, Scotland. It is a wonderful morning to be here with Inscryption coming up next. My name is Skenmy. You can call me Paul. And thank you for watching the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering, a 2-day speedrunning marathon coming to you live from the banks of the river here in Glasgow, Scotland. Don't forget, we're raising money to support Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 90% of our donations go towards supporting Crisis, and 10% go towards UKSG's future events. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to hand you over to bersekrer, who is going to be running Inscryption. Take it away.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the graveyard shift, which is a very, very funny joke that you'll understand in about an hour's time. First thing I'm going to do is, I'm just going to very quickly reset the save data, so I can show you something. This is the intro of the game. And timer doesn't start yet, it'll start in a minute. And I just need to show you that I'm not cheating, I promise. Okay. Here's the intro, it's a completely fresh save file now. When it starts up the menu. Very atmospheric. Goes through weird, strange, old-timey load-up sounds, not sure what that's about. And you can see here, new game. It's blanked out. You cannot play a new game. So I promise you, this is not a cheated file or anything. We're starting again. Now, a little history lesson for this game, for this category. You'll notice I've not started the timer yet, and that's because timers doesn't start until after a short tutorial section. It all goes back to a very long time ago. There was a seeded category of this game, but then we eventually figured out that the seeded categories aren't really properly seeded, so we had to start again, and there was really nothing we could do about it at that point. At that point, it was too late. All the timers had started at a certain time, so we all just decided together to start the timer a little bit later after this tutorial section. However, before the timer starts, I do get to set up one very small glitch that will save me some time. It is a little tricky, so if it doesn't work, I'll try it a couple of times, and if it doesn't work after like 2 times, I'll just go without it. It's not super necessary, but it's fun to look at. And a couple of hits there. Trigger some dialogue. Play scroll there. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to trick the game into thinking that we have sacrificed the thing during a fight without actually spending the sacrifices. So, go. Start the fight, scroll down, do this dialogue, and okay, I think I got it, so we'll see. Okay, if I got it, we start in 3, 2, 1, go. We in fact did get it. Okay, so this is Inscryption. Inscryption is a spooky horror-ish card game, which has some roguelike elements, a lot of deep lore, and is just a very, very atmospheric kind of game to play. The opening section of this is fairly standard. You just got to try and make sure you do it right. And here comes the first glitch. Normally, you won't be able to sacrifice that boulder, but with a bit of movement here, and that glitch we set up, we were able to sacrifice that boulder so we can lose this game much, much quicker. In this first section, there is canonically 2 deaths that you have to go through in order to pass on to the next section. So, we want to try and lose this section as fast as possible, while also setting up a bunch of stuff for later on. So, we want to do that, put the candle down, and keep going. You'll notice that I'm able to click quite fast, and that is because, again, as a community, we decided that you're allowed to link your progress button up to joystick key to make it go a little bit, to be able to move a bit faster, and that's because of the amount of mashing in this game. We just didn't want to give anyone carpal tunnel syndrome. So, this whole section is fairly scripted. You just got to do it as fast as you can, which I am able to do currently. Now we want to try and lose this fight as quickly as possible. There is a little bit of RNG in this fight, and it is right here. Hey, I got it. Okay, I just saved myself 2 seconds. I like to call that free real estate, because if you don't get the stoat card there, some of the cards get a bit chatty in this game, some more than others, and if you manage to not draw the stoat, you save yourself a whole 2 seconds. Yes, we're going wildly fast here on UKSG, and alas, it's time for me to perish. That's unfortunate. So now we get to build a couple of death cards. Well, first we get to build one, then we get to build another one later. The death cards are things that aren't necessary for the run as such, but they allow you to skew RNG in your favor a bit, depending on how you build them. So this first one is fairly scripted, just because it's based on the cards that you have available to you in the run and which ones you play. That is the unfortunate RNG, which means it's going to take me a second longer just to make sure I get the right ones. And we're going to call this one UKSG. Yay. It's a pretty good card. And went to split there, don't need to split. And that is our first death done. And lo and behold, we're alive again. Now, I'm going to be showing a couple of the safety strats here. There's going to be a thing here which I would not normally do, which is using these two items. Normally, oh yeah, sorry, if you're squeamish, that'll happen. I will pull things out of myself. And normally you wouldn't use those items there, but it is much, much safer to do that now, so you can get new items later and set up a thing what we call totem manipulation. Later on, there'll be an item which allows you to adjust the powers of all of your squirrel cards, which are your basic sort of sacrificing cards. And we want to be able to manipulate that as best as possible. This is a bit of a chatty Cathy of a card. You unfortunately can't skip their dialogue. And we're back in the game. We pick up that cockroach, which is a scripted card. We always pick that up, and that one is once again for safety. If you don't pick that up, then you are... Oh, never mind. You are dooming yourself to a potentially bad time, but we're able to actually get 2 black goat items there, which we wouldn't have normally been able to get. So we actually did get some of the fastest RNG there, which is very nice. This is why we called her the Chatty Cathy, because she will keep talking at you. There's really nothing you can do about it. We are laughing. Okay, this is actually one of the fastest RNGs you can get, because I managed to get 2 black goats there. You can only use powers of things that you've actually used before. So we were able to use that card and then sacrifice it, meaning that we've used the ability. I mean, we can add it to our totem pool, which means we can buff our squirrels with the black goat ability, which is using 1 blood, turning 1 blood into 3 when you sacrifice them, meaning that you can play much more powerful cards with our basic sacrificables. And it was actually the best RNG for the fight there as well, or one of the best RNGs. So, yeah, we are laughing. Put that camera right here. Hey, give me that. You're not supposed to have that. Okay. Right, we built our second death card. How's the RNG? Not good. So this is bad RNG, so we're just going to call it bad. Bad RNG. Don't do that anymore. And, okay. We have now had our 2 scripted deaths. This means we're allowed to win. It is required for me to not make some mistakes, but that is probably the scariest part of the run actually over. Strangely. That was not the last time, but one of the main times where one of the big choke points of the run where it could fail. Okay, we want to see not that. We want to see a pronghorn from there. And I'll tell you why momentarily. But first, we've got to stand up and we come over here and we do some nice sliding puzzles, which are always the same. And they love to misbehave. A little bit like that. We don't actually want the items from the first 2. Again, these things love to misbehave. They get very, very sticky. And so anytime when you manage to do them right first time, you are laughing. Okay, and now we're going to build our totem. Totems are a thing which allow you to adjust, in this case, whatever the head is of your totem. In this case, we've now gotten squirrels because we just got them out of that puzzle. Now, every time we sacrifice a squirrel, it is worth 3 blood instead of 1, meaning that we can now fill our deck with the biggest, chunkiest, most powerful things in the game, and we'll be able to summon them pretty much freely. And, of course, RNG was just the worst in that particular round. So the ideal is we want to be able to draw a wolf or something with above 3 power in each round, and once again, it didn't want to give it to us, so that was lovely of them. Now, we can lose up to twice if we need to, but obviously, for obvious reasons, that is not preferable. And hey, it's the stink bug. That is also not what we wanted there. So this is going to be a very, very slow fight. Obviously, the faster you can get out of these fights, the better. Now, by power of math, we know that we're about to win this, so we don't need to play anything else. And we're moving through. Some of those totem fights can be a little hard to bust through, but you just gotta go with what you've got. Okay, again, we want to see elk, we want to see pronghorn. Okay, the reason we wanted to see that is upcoming we'll have an ability to take the sigils off of that one card and put them on a different card. Pronghorn happens to have one of the sigils that we quite like having, which is bifurcated. It turns a single attack into 2 attacks either side of the thing that you're fighting, meaning that if you stick that on something with 3 power, it turns into something with, 6 damage. Meaning that, because of the way the damage in this game works, if you... Oh, there's the wolf. If you put it in the right place, then you can do 6 damage turn 1 and win turn 1. And this should be enough to win this round. Yes, it is. Just saying that if we did over damage, then it turns into currency. And we don't want that because capitalism is very, very slow. While we do have to use it at some point, it's a necessary evil in this particular run. This guy is just saying, please look at my pelts. And we don't really want to because pelts are stinky. There are a great many things in this game which are stinky, and pelts are one of them. This is the ability to sacrifice that I was talking about earlier. So we take the pronghorn, we shove it very hard onto that wolf, and now that wolf can deal 6 damage. That is an OTK, also known as a 1-turn kill. The ideal of this deck is you want to get as many 1-turn kills as possible. So you got to deal with that RNG, hope for the best, and just hope the odds work out in your favor, which they just did. So this is a totem fight. It's supposed to be very hard, but doesn't matter. We just won. So the ideal now is for pretty much every fight in the game to start, and then we draw a 1-turn kill. That's the ideal. So for this one, it's saying what cost you want to pay for your card. We want to pay 3 because all of our scrolls are worth 3, and now we have something with 4 power, which is a 1 or 2-turn kill, depending on whether or not we can get that grizzly powered up. This is a case of we just want to get rid of something, so we want to get rid of the chatty Cathy, so she's no longer chatting to us, wasting our time. And we move on to the first boss. There is a glitch in this fight, which I will try to do, but it's not the easiest thing to do, and it's not always a thing you can do, so I'll try my best to do it. It's called Nugget Skip. It's like a different form of the sack glitch earlier, the boulder sack glitch, but let's see if I can manage to do it. Nah, I didn't manage to get it. That's a shame. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's unfortunately not feasible, but you can essentially avoid him doing that. Now you want to try and get this done on turn 1, because if you do, then you can avoid a bunch of stuff coming into the fight, and the fight will be much, much faster by comparison. We actually got pretty decent drawing here, so we can put that there. Bloodhound jumps over, but that's fine because we can stick the rabbit pelt there. Boom, 5 damage. 1 over damage, but we don't really mind about that. And that is the first boss of Act 1 done. We are actually making pretty decent time here, must be said. Okay, we want to get something pretty decent. Okay, that's good. That's a good card. So, that's trifurcated. That's essentially the same as bifurcated, which is the thing we put on the wolf, except it hits 3 times. So you can imagine why that's pretty good. Okay, this is a shop which allows us to spend the pelt that we had to pick up earlier. There is one symbol I want to see in particular, and it is that one. Because when we use that card, that sigil, we can set up an exploit for later, which is intended by the game, but it feels a bit like a cheat. Where we can force a particular card to appear during a boss fight, making it, if it's set up properly, making the boss fight much, much easier. And the Stoat is fairly chatty in of himself, but unfortunately, we can't get rid of the Stoat. We need that. So we managed to get Wolf on turn 1. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, I had the option of going to a bonfire back there, which I would normally take on a normal run or when I'm running at home. But I didn't take it on this occasion because it was safer to go get items. Okay, this is another totem event, which of course we don't really need because we already have the perfect totem. So we just try and skip through that as quickly as possible. Right, we're going to go left after this. And not the best draw RNG for that. And we'll see what we can do with it. Not a huge fan of this. Okay, that is better, but we can't do anything with it this turn. We should be fine, though. 2 damage down. That means we're going to do 6 damage. Yep, okay, we're good. Do that. And that's 5 damage. And we win this fight. So the goal of Act 1 is to win as many win fights as quickly as possible, as you can imagine. Moose bug, that's fine. Win fights as quickly as possible, and hopefully get items that will help you do that as quickly as possible as well. You'll notice I'm picking up a lot of the same items, because some items are just much, much faster and more effective than others. Okay, we are... Oh, not you. No, Bullfrog, not you. 4 damage, and from the Grizzly, 1 damage from the Pliers, and we're good. If you have any teeth left in your head by the end of this run, then you are laughing. Okay, we don't want Bear, don't want River Otter. We'll take the Adder as backup, but we don't super need it. It is just a bit of backup if I mess up pretty royally in the final fight. So we want to give the Stoat, specifically the Stoat, we want to give the Touch of Death symbol there. And you'll see why a lot later, nearer the end of Act 1. Okay, boss number 2. This is probably the easiest boss of Act 1, especially because it's in this weird middle section of you're set up enough that it's not super difficult, and yep, that's a 1-turn kill. I actually could have put that to the right and it would have been better off. It would have done 1 less damage and 1 done any over damage, but that's fine. Okay, RNG, don't fail me now. You failed me now. Alright. That's unfortunate, but we'll try and do our best. Aha. Okay. I'm not going to say I'm panicking. I'm just not particularly happy about what's going on here. Well, that's unfortunate. See, this is the kind of RNG that can really ruin a run, because now, in order to not break everything, I'm going to have to restart that fight and hope things go a little bit better. Because now I have the knowledge of knowing what's going to happen in the fight. Hopefully it can go a little bit better. I do have backup saves, just in case this goes horribly wrong, but I haven't had to use one at a marathon yet, so I'd like to continue that chain. Try this again. Okay, so we'll go for... We'll go a little bit, we'll slow our roll a little bit here. Just so we don't win quite as fast and we get to draw 1 additional card when it gets to the next section. Alright, so do this, put you there. So by avoiding killing the bait bucket, we managed to get around it, not kill it, not have the shark show up, and bust through the fight. And that's just an example of how RNG is your best friend in this game on occasion. A little scary, but we're fine. Okay, we didn't want that, we don't want that. None of those are good. Let's take that one. There is obviously rare cards which are far superior to other ones, and those were none of those. Okay, we want to go to the left here. I want to go to the left again because we're going to go for items which are safe. None of those are particularly good. But items are safer. They're not always the fastest option. Like, it's not the fastest option in this situation, but we'll take what we can. Don't pick up Goobert. It's very, very tempting, but people laugh at you if you do that, in my experience, because it is a very not useful item. And, well, why didn't you show up in the boss fight? Come on now. And there's a turn 1 kill. Turn kill. Moving on. One thing we're doing in... Oh, another pronghorn. One thing we're doing in this section is we are trying our darndest to go for the fast events and avoid the slow ones wherever possible. Sometimes you want to take the slow events. Unfortunately, I didn't have a choice in that mount. Sometimes you want to take the slow events, sometimes you don't. It really does come down to the situation you're in with your deck. One of the slowest events in the game is sometimes the right one to take. But RNG has not been super favorable to me right now. And that's a... Hey, a bullfrog, my favorite. This might have to be a lost fight. This one's not so bad if you lose, because you can lose twice. So I'm happy to just say I lost that fight. And move on. Hopefully don't lose any more later. Now we're going to go through a trial. This is one of the slower events you kind of generally want to try and avoid. But unfortunately didn't have much of a choice in the matter in this one. So we actually want to lose this as we can, because it was much faster to lose. And you don't necessarily want the cards that they're going to give you. And that time I just happened to random into a card which would not have helped me whatsoever. So we're going to take you, stick it to you. And we got ourselves another one-turn kill, which is nice. Moving on into another fight. And looks like we're going to have to go through another trial here, which is unfortunate. Okay. Again, I'm not super convinced this is going to be a good time coming up. Unfortunately, I'm in a situation where I have a lot of good cards in this deck, but I also have quite a lot of bad cards in this deck. So, okay, we should be fine next turn. Unless, wait, is that a loss? No, it's not. Okay. I did panic for a bit there. So, put you there, you there. Okay, we're not panicking. We're not panicking. Over damage. That's fine. That happens. And we need to restart that. Wow, that's some unfortunate RNG. Now, as you might imagine, if you were going for a world record or something, this is a dead run. But because I've been trying to avoid using my scissors and stuff for the longest time, because those are much more useful to have in other situations. But now now that I have the knowledge of how the fight's gonna go, I can restart it and do it better. If I do it better, I think I just lost it again. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Nope, I need to restart this again. I can get through this fight. I know I can win this fight. Just not going the way I would very much like it to. And this is why my estimate, even though my PB is less than 1 hour 10, this is why my estimate is 117. This can happen. Okay. Again, worst case scenario, I have backup saves. I would really rather not use those, but let's see if the game wants to play ball, shall we? As you might have noticed, the RNG is always the same. You there. You there. Okay, good there. That should be moose bark. Put you there. I'll try one more time and then I'll use a backup save. This has gone very badly. This is the worst it's ever gone at a marathon, so that's fun. Might just have to use stall tactics, see if I can get away with that. Okay, so put you there. That's fine. So our plan right now is to stall as much as possible. Yeah, okay. This isn't happening. Alright, unfortunately I am going to have to use a backup save here, so just give me 1 second.
That's okay, we forgive you. And just while you're loading that, I'm going to read out a donation that we've had come in, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Wonderful. We've had a $16.90 donation from the wonderful Trevor Ombo D99, who says, I tried to do a scan me, but my PayPal wouldn't let me. Those commas and those dots are very, very difficult to get. And that has, of course, gone to the Super Metroid Any Percent old route, save or kill the animals to save the animals. So that's $16.90 towards that one. That is a very close fight. There it is. I think there's about $2.50 in it. So now is your chance to get your donations in. Don't forget, they all go to Crisis, helping to support people out of homelessness.
Okay, that should be it done. Okay, so this is after the angler fight, so I am back a little bit, but it's fine. Wow, I've literally never had to use a backup save before, so this is a privilege for you to see. Let's see what my deck looks like, because I don't remember what it's like in this one. Unfortunately, we did technically have better RNG with our other deck. It's just in that one fight, it just wasn't working. Wow, okay. Apparently, I gave myself some pretty decent luck in this one. So, because I'm not entirely sure what's in this deck, we're going to still just go as fast as we can with what we've got, and we're going to take the decisions that I would normally take in this situation. This should be a deck which is easy to win with, relatively. So we'll just see how that goes. So I'm gonna put you there, you there. Yep. I don't know if I actually have any pelts in this, so I'm just gonna try to go at the shop just to make sure. We in fact do. We'll take the Magpie. Magpie is a card which, when you put it down, it allows you to search through your deck. So, deck search, if you play any kind of deck-based game, you know that's a good thing. We're gonna take that Magpie. We're gonna stick it to the. Ignore that. Stick it to the Bullfrog just to make it so it's cheaper. The wombo combo for that is if you happen to have a black goat card, then you can stick it to that. Then it gives you three blood and allows you to search your deck as much as you want. So it allows you to win pretty dang quick. And we're back again to doing one-turn kills. Now, of course, the RNG and everything of this run is going to be it's going to be pretty different. But unfortunately, that's the risk you take when you're doing something so RNG heavy at a marathon. At least this way allows us to keep going. Okay, so bonfires you didn't see in the original run, but they can either allow you to, at random, allow you to power up the attack or the health of a card. You never really want to see health. Health is bad RNG, because you just want to do as much damage as possible. We're going to go to the right after this fight so we can get more items. And speaking of items, there's a pack rat that's going to allow us to get a free item. But it's still not really what we want to see because, again, not fast. And let's go for you. Take you. You there. I meant to put that one to the right, but it shouldn't really be a problem. Again, it's explaining over damage. And oh hey, our best friend, Rabbit Pelt. Oh man, imagine if I loaded a backup save and it still didn't work out. There we go. Hey, wolf, when it... Imagine if just the wolf never showed up. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? In front of everybody? Okay. See, now my wolf is going to die here, but that's actually okay because we have something way more powerful right there. So, it's okay. Stop panicking. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to me. And we're fine. And... Okay. We're going to go to the right so we can get some items. But before that, we're going to do something which I'm just assuming I've done in this backup save already. So we'll pick it up just to make sure. Yep. We had to... Okay, so one of the items we had in our previous deck was called the Caged Wolf. At some point, you have to use that card and kill it so you can break it open and get that statue open. You guys didn't see me do that because this is a backup save, but I would have had to have done that in order to get that wolf statue out. It's one of the puzzles that you have to do around the cabin. Because this dagger is content required. You can do it technically at any time, but the fastest way to do it is before this fight. And make sure you don't have full items because it always deletes one of your items. Okay, and we are fine here. Do that, and if you're squeamish about eye stuff, maybe look away. Not content with putting teeth on the scale, you in fact remove one of your own eyes to do so. It's yeah, it's a thing. This is a horror game. Okay, so the idea is you want to try and play the odds as much as you can in this fight. Okay, so we're looking for particular things. We don't want that to appear, and we want to try and get rid of that as well. I'm gonna take you there. 1, 2, 3. There's that. And nope, not you. Okay, we did it. That was scary, but we did it. It's like, 'cause I don't really know what's in this deck. Third boss done. Okay, that was a rough 3 maps. But yeah, because I don't really know what's in the deck, I didn't really know what I was going to pull there. But hey, I managed to set it up well enough. Again, none of those are great, so we'll take Gek, at least it's free. And because we lost our eyeball, he's very, very generous, our benefactor here. So it's like, here, stick this one in your head. That's definitely how that works. But hey, oh, we can see some weird stuff now. What's up with that? All right, let's move on to the next map. I was looking a weird bit familiar. This map is purple and scary. We're gonna stand up for a second. We're just gonna play with things in the cabin. Camera. There we go. So this is the third of the talking cards. Again, he's plot relevant. You can pick him up whenever you want, but if you pick him up right now, and also this ring for safety purposes, pick him up right now, then you can force an exploit in the next fight, which allows you to definitely draw the stoat, because those 2 cards have a conversation, which is why we want to upgrade the stoat later, earlier in the run, which I'm pretty sure this backup has in fact done. So, fun fact, the way the game loads, you're actually loading in before ring. You're actually loading in before you can see everything. So if you're mashing forward as fast as possible, then you can actually move while the camera is essentially switched off. Let's go for rat. We want to try and get as many... Okay, good. We want to try and get as many boons as we can here. They're basically just giant buffs you can get for the next round. Again, there's 2 in particular you want for safety purposes, and we got them both. So RNG was like saying, okay, we're being a bit mean to you before. Here you go. You can have the ones that make this fight pretty dang trivial. Okay, so now we're going to the final boss of Act 1. We get to meet this lovely gentleman in the flesh, so to speak. This is Leshy. And Leshy is... He's the true boss of Act 1, so he doesn't like you having any advantages. You only have 1 life. You got to beat him 3 times. And you don't have quite a lot of the tools that you would normally have at this stage if you were playing it casually. So, as you can see now, we've got the stoat there, and oh hey, perfect RNG. How about that? And hang on, I did that a bit wrong, but it's fine. Because we can do that. Okay. Because we got the stoat there, managed to set it up so that mole man instantly dies, and we do enough damage to kill him in 1 turn. And because we got these 2 cards set up now, all we have to do is end the round every time. Because the stump doesn't bother standing in front of the wolf because it can't block the wolf. So, stump gets hit by the stoat, wolf deals enough damage, and it dies. But then we have this section, which is actually pretty scary, because you've got like, oh, it's like, oh, the moon, it's right there. And if you've seen Yu-Gi-Oh, you know how powerful the moon is. It's very dramatic. What if I played it? Oh, that's actually pretty terrifying. It's got 40 life. Dang, that's it. Oh, it's dead. Okay, and with another couple of hits there, we have busted through Act 1. Yeesh. So, we're going to have a little bit of lore here, but lore's a little bit slow, so we're going to try and avoid that.
Did I just...
I
just beat him?
ignore that. That's probably fine. Oh yeah, there was an oop there, if you'd like to join in with saying oop when he says that. Okay, and now we see lore. It's all old-timey and such by today's standards, but no thank you. Lore's slow. You don't want to accidentally click on those videos. It's another thing that makes people laugh at me. You, if you run this game. Okay, and this section is about cursor placement. We know for a fact the camera's going to be right here. We want to pick that up. We put the film in it that we found in the cuckoo clock. He's not very happy about it. You nestle the cursor in the man's bosom. You take his picture. You blast him into the wall. And you pick up the new game button. You quit out to the menu. And we have now started Act 2, which is now a new game. Canonically speaking, the game is now reset. This is how it's supposed to be. Before it was kind of like a corruption of the game because you could only hit a continue button. And now is the hardest strat of the entire game. You hold the progress button to fast forward this section of lore. It's essentially talking about how there were these 4 scribes. They made cards. They had cards and the world was good. And now you're here to ruin that, I guess, by disrupting the bounds, replacing one of the scribes. And at this point, the game is now completely different. You've now gone from this 3D world into this 2D one, and it's much closer to like a sort of deck building, card playing RPG. Ignore that. I just built a deck while the screen was loading. Okay, here's another safety strat. You take this clover because it allows you to mulligan your first hand. It just makes the whole thing a lot safer. So whether or not you go fast in Act 2 is predicated entirely on this bit of RNG right here, which I did not get. Hooray! If you get a card called Bone Heap there, this entire act is much faster. But unfortunately I didn't get it. So my absolutely pristine Act 1 that you just saw is unfortunately ruined. The joke is it wasn't very fast, but we are rolling with it. Okay, so in this particular fight, we're going to try and do enough over damage to do 4 full over damage, because while we think capitalism is slow, and it is, we do unfortunately need it for this next section coming up. Okay, we're going to put you there, you there. So first thing we want to do is make sure we don't die. We want to survive the initial assault of these cards. Some of them are very, very mean. But we should be okay. Just make sure I'm not going to accidentally die by doing that. Okay, we're down to 1 life, but that is fine because that's all the cards they have. Okay. So, now what we want to do is we want to set ourselves up so we can deal 5 damage while slowly whittling, well, hopefully not slowly, whittling them down. We are able to do that. We do 1 more hit here. So they're on 1 life. We get rid of our gravediggers, which were supplying us with the currency of this act, which is bones. 5 over damage, and, well, 5 damage, 4 over damage, and that allows us enough to buy the bone heap that we did not get in the pack that we just opened. There is backup RNG where you can potentially get the bone heap here as well. Of course we didn't. Well, that is par for the course of this part. So this act now does progress a tiny bit differently because we didn't get the good luck, but it's like 30 seconds there instead of there kind of situation. So it's not so bad. You go to this shop to buy the guy, whereas before you would have just had it. We come over here, we put that in and pad the deck a little bit. Padding the deck is again a safety thing because it means you have more cards to draw through before panicking, pretty much. Because you need to draw certain cards in this fight, including the bone heap we just purchased. So it's fine if we're taking damage here. We also want to build up enough bones that we can block the Reapers as they, the Revenants as they come down. Well, we're also not getting great RNG here because we're not drawing the creature known as the Gravedigger to be able to, there it is, to be able to start padding our bone supplies. So this one might be a bit dicey towards the end, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, there's 2. Gotta make sure I don't accidentally win the fight as well, which is a thing I have definitely done before. Come on now. Okay, there's a 3rd one. We should be okay. And there's a 4th one. Okay, we're gonna be fine. Just gotta draw the bone heap now. There it is. Okay, killed this guy. Put down this. It's just gonna say that's an activated ability, you know. Want to put them on 1 life. Now we want to bump this to 20 damage. If we can't quite make it, and it costs 2 bones per damage, you want to buff it to. If we can't quite make it, we might have to get creative, but I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah, we're fine. By getting creative, I mean playing a bunch of skeletons and hitting them with a hammer and just trying to do as much damage as possible. Okay, 19 over damage is the exact amount we need. Okay, and we get a pack. And of course, that one has a bone heap in it. Well, of course it does, now that I don't need it. Well, that's... Yep, that's a marathon run for you. Okay, so now paradoxically, we leave that section. We don't finish that section yet. Because now we have to come over here and do this familiar chaps section. That code is always the same. It's also the one that was on the safe in the first area. Come to this vendor, which is a thing we guarantee. And we pick up those exact cards. We also have to talk to him on the way out to grab his camera. And we do that because the way your cards are drawn in Act 2 is not random. It's the same as the other act, but it's more noticeable in Act 2. It will always try to give you a deck, a hand that you can actually play. So, if we fill our deck with 1 card that costs blood and a load of 0-cost cards, we are guaranteed to draw the card that costs blood every single time, plus a bunch of 0 costs. So, if we play this card, is the Ouroboros. Ouroboros is a unique effect throughout the game. Every time it dies, it comes back to your hand stronger. So, if we set it up in a particular way, we can turn every fight into a 1-turn kill. Okay. And 1 more. I couldn't remember if I did 2 or 3 there, but that's fine. So, they're on 4 life. And we deal 4 damage. There is 1 more setup fight to do coming up. But now we're doing a bunch of puzzle elements. The Act 2 is mostly a puzzle solving situation. And this section here is about taking pictures of stuff to prove that you have them. So you take a picture of the dog, it means you have the dog, so you can get past this guy to get a picture of a fish. To talk to this guy, he says, hey, you got a fish. Okay, and so this is the end of the setup. This time we do 3 damage, intentionally get hit, turn it into a 4-4, and then we win with the damage that's left over. So now this setup is largely done. There is a scripted death of your cards later on, and we don't want the Ouroboros to go over 5 damage because that means you do over damage, which gives you money, which is capitalism, which is slow. So at this point, we want to race a rabbit. If you particularly like pixelated animals, then you may want to look away. It's fine, I'm sure he's just sleeping. Because the other thing this run hates, other than capitalism, is rabbits. Don't like them. So now we have our sleeping rabbit. We come over here, we talk to the trapper trader. He turns from a shop into a fight, which is actually a choke point for casual runners, because suddenly one of their shops has just turned into a fight. And that's a good hand. Until we have that scripted death of the Ouroboros, we always want to make sure we have a card like the skeleton, which will do an extra damage, so you can do 1 turn kill on it. The reason why we have the clover is because it is physically possible for you to get a handful of squirrels, which deal no damage. So for a little while, it's not great. And we're coming to the first boss that we're doing in Act 1. And we got the cards we need. That's good. So this is a fairly scripted fight. Scripted in the sense of if you do things in a particular way, you're guaranteed to win. Ironically, in a lot of cases in this game, the bosses are actually easier than the regular fights. And we put our extra card there, and we fill this up with amalgams. The shtick of this fight is he takes a picture of your cards as they die to amalgam another card together. But if only one card dies, then they have to take all the stats of that card rather than individual pieces of all the others. And that is boss 1 of Act 2 down. So that's why for that fight you have to specifically have a skeleton in hand. Yeah, we're going to try and do a midway quit out. Nah, it didn't work. Okay. You'll have another chance to see that in a second. We do an intentional quit out here so we can skip a cutscene. And we head back down and finish Grimora's section, which is the graveyard section. And we into this fight. This is the one fight where RNG doesn't matter quite as much, but I got the RNG I needed, so it doesn't really matter. Now we bust through that fight. And now you're starting to see the pattern of what a lot of fights look like in Act 2. We're not quite there yet. We don't have the full setup. But we've got the majority of it. So now we've picked up a load of these epitaph pieces that we've been picking up in this section. We now get to try and do a dialogue skip glitch, which these are all the same, by the way. These are always the same. Dog doesn't hold a grudge. So if I time this right. Ah, I didn't get it. Oh no, I did. Haha. And we've overlapped some animations, meaning that we skipped a bunch of dialogue. Thought I missed that, but I didn't. Okay, yep, this is a good hand. So first up, this is unfortunately not a one-turn kill, because we have to kill that just because of the way the fight progresses. So turn 2 comes in, do the extra damage. Bad word incoming, shield your ears. Oh, there it is. Hurts me every time. And that is the scripted death that I was talking about earlier. Now you can see that the Ouroboros is a 5-5, meaning that now every fight is going to be fight start, play Ouroboros, fight wins. We're done here. Okay. Gonna try the between pack skip again. Come on. Ooh, did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Nice. Okay. So now, because I managed to do that, you're going to see a very weird glitch coming up. Now, even though it looks like I haven't won this fight, I have. You can see 2 little glowy things on the gravestones here. That means that the game has tracked me as winning this fight. So, first of all, we just got to go through now we're in Magnificent section. You might notice the gooey guy before. Probably the most tragic character of this entire game. And you're now going to see what the fights look like for the rest of this act. Doesn't matter what you start with in hand. You play the Ouroboros and you win. And we're moving on to the next fight. Always try to make sure you're not holding buttons in this section, because if you do that, you look silly because you go back down the stairs. This is the training dummy fight, but again, it's going to look exactly the same. The game doesn't really expect you to have this ability at this point, as you probably can imagine. Okay, but there is something special about the next fight, and I think the best way to put it is to ask you, chat, if you are ready to be stimulated. And that is because, as you put in this little code here, you meet the Lonely Wizard at last. Stimulation.
I feel stimulated.
Well, unfortunately, the stimulation does not last very long, because, much like the rest of the fights, it's over pretty much in an instant.
There are some berserk stimulation in the chat.
Yes, that'll happen. And hey, thank you to and welcome to all my viewers from home. Okay, third boss of Act 2. This one is a little bit different because it's got an RNG element to it. What we want to see here is to draw only squirrels, and none of those squirrels to get painted with the rabbit sigil. That's what we want to see. Good start. Good start. Okay, not great, but fine. Okay. Don't get painted with a rabbit. Okay, good. And... hooray, we didn't get bunned. If any of them get painted with a rabbit, then it has to go through an entire animation. Oh yeah, make sure you don't put it in front of that guy and you win. You have to go through an entire animation where it like summons another rabbit and then that rabbit gets painted. It's very slow. And no what we call secret backdoor bun either, because that last one can also have a rabbit. And that is the third boss of Act 2 done. Coming down to it now, one of my least favorite parts of the run is coming up. Not because it's particularly difficult, I just hate it. And here's the glitch going on. That's supposed to have happened after Grimora, because we delayed it by quitting out when we did, but it has to happen. So we go to another lore section, and then once you get to a lore section, something very weird is about to happen. Not the weirdest thing in the run, but still pretty weird. That's where my cursor was for a second. Now, we can move despite the fact there's cards on screen. And by doing this, we can actually just leave the area without picking up these cards, saving a few seconds. Not the most dramatic time save, but it counts. Okay, now we're gonna do some puzzles. Yay! The idea is you got to get whatever number the thing is asking for based on plussing and minusing. You have very specific movement in this section. You can move quite quickly, like right here. If I can do it. Yep, you saw for a second there. I was walking on nothing. Spooky, I know. That's the spookiest part of the whole game. The fact that for a very brief second there, you can fly. Okay, and much the same as every other fight so far. Play 2, random cards from your hand. Play Ouroboros, win. The NPCs in this section mostly don't give you packs or anything to deal with, so you can just run for it while they're doing their thing. Remember, chat, only Chad's solve puzzles right to left. And this is the puzzle I truly hate, because it is annoying. That is the most annoying puzzle in the entire game, just because stuff in Act 2 is a bit sticky. And if you click the wrong things or the wrong places, it can take several seconds just to, like, correct it. It is very annoying. Just for fun, I'm going to sacrifice the bone heap. That's what you get. That's what you get for only showing up after I didn't need you. Okay, and solve this bottom puzzle first, because it is very slightly faster. It's like moving while doing an animation. It's the way you want to go. Most of these puzzles do equate to just cover up the bad numbers. And there you go. Got to move while animation was happening. And now we're about to do the hardest fight in the entire game. Okay, so we're going to have a bit of silence, a bit of quiet time for this. Okay, I won. Whew, that was very tough. Very difficult. Thank you. That is a guaranteed win of a fight. So, I mean, it's difficult in the sense that it's impossible to lose it, I suppose. But yep, that is a guaranteed win. And now we've done all the NPCs in the area, we can go back out and we can fight the Robo-Man himself. PO3, or Poe, if you're that way inclined to call him that. Okay, the strat for this fight is pretty simple, but it's also very embarrassing if you get it wrong, because you put the Ouroboros there. That's it. Specifically in that slot. Because of the way the conveyor belts move, they're about to copy your Ouroboros to every one of those sections. Then the conveyor belt's going to move around, leaving a nice empty gap for you to hit him for 5 damage. And you can see here the Ouroboros is now a 6/6, which we wouldn't have wanted before because it would have been over damage, which would have taken extra time to get us all that extra money. Okay, we are now done with the 4 bosses of Act 2. Technically, we can quit out between these packs as well, but there's really not a lot of point. Like, it's slower to do that. So here, it's like, which one do you want to replace? But it's a trick question, because PO3 rocks up to ruin your day regardless. So you just want to talk to him to make it a little bit faster. And then this is actually the hardest fight in the game. Like I lose this fight every time. Like it's impossible. Ah, see, I lost it again. Impossible. Bit of a volume warning here. It gets a bit loud. Yeah. I think we broke it. Okay, and here we go again. The game is reset once more, and now I'm gonna show you one of my personal stamps on the speedrun of this game, which I called the Super Special Secret Awesome Skip. See if I can manage to do it. It's actually not that easy. Let's see if I can get it. Got best setup I can do. Ah, I did it too early. If you can press that down button at the exact right time, you can move to the next screen while he's still talking to save a gigantic 0.3 seconds. I figured that out. I did that. Yep. I'm basically a champion. Okay. And the 4 fights we're about to do are playfully known as the Boring 4 because they are... They're fights that you just play normally. You have to play them normally, and the rest of Act 3 doesn't really progress super normally. So you'll understand that in a moment. We'll put you there, get that. And yep, we're good. And otherwise, it's the same rules that we've had so far. You just got to tip the scale in the right direction. You do want to try and avoid over damage here, but sometimes the RNG doesn't make that super possible. And you'll notice in this section that there are plenty of these glowing things around. Those are upgrades. We don't like upgrades. Much like pelts, they're stinky and we don't want them. Okay. Oh. I've literally never seen them not play a card here. Okay. I'll take it, I guess. Hey, I've got my very own "that's never happened to me before" moment. How about that? We're gonna draw you, put that there, and that. So the idea of these sections is mostly you just want to survive until you're in a position where you can win. And we're gonna put you there and do that. And our good friend, the hammer, comes back into play here. And that's fine, that's shield bots there, kills that. Actually, he's going to minimize the amount of over damage we do. So, friendly neighborhood shield bot. Hooray. So that's 2 out of 4. Ew, upgrade. Stinky. Get out of here. Fight number 3. And the alarm bots that you see in these fights, if you don't block them, you lose. So you need to make sure you do that. And put the double gunner there. Okay, that is 3 out of 4, and we've got one more semi-normal looking fight. Got to our first checkpoint. Hopefully, we won't be coming back here too often. There is a backup that I'll be doing, which, well, hopefully I won't need to do, but it will involve us seeing that particular checkpoint a few times. Hopefully I won't need to. Hopefully the nerves won't get to me, and I'll do it perfectly right first time. You'll be like, oh my god, that's so impressive. I'll be like, yeah, it's easy. You know, classic humble streamer. Make sure you kill the nasty, nasty alarm bots. They hurt. Okay, gonna put you there. that. And I played this a little bit safer than I needed to, but so we're going to do some over damage, but that's obviously fine. It's slower, but it's fine. Okay, and we got through the boring 4. These are the most normal looking fights you'll have for the rest of the game. And then all of a sudden, oh no, the power's gone out. And we start standing up and doing puzzles again. So first of all, you know, we're going fairly fast. We want to make sure that we're not running a TAS. Do some captures, make sure we're not a robot. Oops. Helps if you actually answer them properly. I swear I'm not a robot. Would a robot use a backup save? I think not. And we're back down. Charge. And now things are going to get a little bit weird. We're going to break the game a little bit. This is like the main sort of, the killer app of the run. See if I can do it right this time. Okay, you're not really supposed to be able to do this. But we are stacking events on top of each other. By doing this fast enough, you can trick the game into thinking that you are completing events at the same time as each other, and therefore going back to the tablet that you can see here and smashing through other things. So you go through to this fight, pick up this card that was in this event that we stored, and now we've won the fight. And unfortunately, that thing I said, yep, that was me unfortunately doing a misclick, and now we're going to have to use a backup. Dang it, but that's fine. In a previous marathon run I did this in, I actually messed up the backup, so it became very scary. But that's fine, because we can just do this. And so this is the main tech of Act 3. You are stacking events, oopsie, you're stacking events on top of each other, tricking the game into thinking that some are complete and some aren't, and essentially saying to the game, this event is complete when you're in a fight, so finish the fight. Although, weirdly, it doesn't actually finish the fight for you. It actually ignores the fight, because it finishes the event and allows you to slap it back down, meaning you can do some very weird things behind the game while you're playing at the same time. So there are going to be situations later on where you do a fight under a fight while winning another fight by using an event. It's going to look a little bit weird if I can do it correctly. And you can see that even though we used this event already, we used that upgrade, using a glitch, we managed to duplicate it. Event duping was found relatively late into the lifespan of the run. And boss 1's done. Event duping was found fairly late into the lifespan of the run, so before that, if you failed any of the glitches in Act 3, your run was just dead. Okay, now I'm back at the graveyard, because for a moment there, the animation looked at the graveyard, which changed my positional data momentarily. So by quitting out at that exact moment, I was able to teleport back to the graveyard, which allows me to come back up here and skip out a bunch of other stuff that's happened along the way. So we use an event here, smash through this this fight, come up here, grab another one, duplicate that, come down here, grab another one, smash through that fight, and we're on our way. There is a no major glitches version of this run, where you don't do this. We have to quit out there because of all the glitching we've been doing. This avoids a soft lock. But I don't have personal interest in it, but there is people who run this game glitchless, or close to glitchless. So, he's like, I forgot a piece of your playset. Quickly stand up and grab that. And more captures. Quick math here. Which looks more impressive than it is, because those numbers are always the same. And now we've got our final game piece, as it were. This allows us to gemify our cards. And we switch them to those gems in particular, again to skew things in our favor. We want to move while this is going on, get into this fight. Wait for the animation to be done, and when it is, we want to quickly grab this hammer and break that. That's a very important break to do. You'll see why in a second. Nope, that's not what we want. Nope, that's not what we wanted. I'd say behave, but I'm the one breaking the game. There we go. That's what we want. See, now that we broke that emerald vessel, there's now a ruby vessel in its place, and that's going to allow us to buff a card later on for a fight that we do actually need to win, even if we are going to win it in the jankiest way possible. Oops. There we go. Want to smash through that event. That card back. Didn't mean to click that. Okay. Give me that card back. I didn't mean to click that. Oh my god. There we go. There we go. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah, as you might imagine, the game doesn't like doing this. So if you're unlucky, it can choose to not play ball. And it can really ruin your day sometimes. Okay, and now we're going to go into this fight. We're going to hit go on that fight that we've got underneath the tablet. Trust me, there's still a fight going on back there. Want to draw a card, stand up, sit down, grab this event, stand up, sit down, go into this fight, win the fight that's behind the screen. That busts through the event, so we're winning the fight before it starts. And then we just carry on as if nothing happened. Going into this boss fight, using one more event, and boss number 3 is done. Okay, once more, we got to do an intentional quit out here. Sorry, boss number 2 is done, not 3. I can count, I swear. So we've got to stand up, sit down to force save the game. We've got to quit out here again to avoid a soft lock. And we stand up, sit down, getting our cardio for the day to dupe this event. Okay, if you can do that fast enough, you can do it before the dialogue goes off, but that's okay. Come up here, grab this event again. Also this one. And we come over here. Make sure we switch to this little battery looking thing. Get the game to behave itself. But make sure we hit that event before we actually draw any cards. That's the important part there. So we smash through that event, and now we've upgraded all of our... We've upgraded all of our empty vessels to now give us 1 energy whenever they're played. Unfortunately, I did this with a bit of weird timing, so we're just going to have to wait for an event to finish. You can hear it ticking away in the background. And we're down. Okay, now we come over here, and we're once again playing with the fight that's going on behind the fight that we're currently playing. So, we need a little bit of RNG to play ball here, but it actually happened for us, so we're okay. We got to put those specific 2 cards down. We refill our energy using that item, put down the double gunner, and then we just grab this event to finish this fight. Go through, hit a checkpoint. Then we finish this fight before it even starts. Just that dialogue saying I'm doing too well. So it's like, you've got a bounty hunter coming after you. And we set up this event. And now we actually delayed this earlier like we did in Act 2. So we've got to make sure we do it now. If you do skip this in its entirety, it soft locks the game, which is no good for a run. So, last lore section we're going to be looking at here. But once again, lore is slow. We don't want to do it. And we start that event, go through to the boss while the animation plays. Then when it's over, boss number 3, for real this time, is done. We don't want to skip back to the start this time. Don't want to quit out or anything. We don't need to. We just wait for that animation to end. Come down here. Grab that. Come back over here. And while that's counting in, we move up. For a bit of safety there, I let that play through. Go this fight. Tick this event. Fight's over. Grab this one. Making sure we actually stack the events at the same time. We come through here. We grab an event that we now can't even see because there's stuff in the way. And we're kind of racing the game on this one, but it's not much of a race. You know where you're going. It can happen pretty quickly. And we are now going to get ourselves, very soon, a big fat 2000. This is one of the few events in this round that we don't actually skip through. We also traded away a double gunner there because we just don't need it anymore. Up here, hit these two things at the same time. And then run, run, run before this event goes off. Go through to this screen. It completes this event. And we're at the next checkpoint. Smash through this event, this fight with an event. We duplicate this event. Go through this fight. If you get the timing exactly right on that, you can make dialogue happen at the same time as animations, but nobody really knows how to do that, so... Like, no one's really gotten the timing fully down. Come through here and do some very specific timing with this event. And boss number 4 of Act 3 is done. We go back to this. Now we want to go back to the graveyard again, because once we reload in, it'll take us back to the graveyard. We go down one screen, get some dialogue, go up one screen, and we are now done with Act 3. That is probably the hardest part of the whole run done, RNG notwithstanding. So we get some dialogue here. Pier3 is telling you how you're silly, you're a fool. You've allowed him to do his world domination plans. He's uploading the game you've been creating to the internet, but sadly, unfortunately, Pier3 never gets to 69%. Tough, man. Tough luck, bro. Okay, Leshy comes in at the last second to ruin all the plans. All the other scribes that you've seen throughout the game are here. But Grimora says, ooh, what's this? And grabs the file permissions that you will have given them earlier in the run if you didn't break it. And now she has started to delete the whole game. The game is starting to fall apart around our eyes. Fun fact. That splash is where Act 3 finishes if you're just doing the IL of Act 3. It's a nice handy place to stop the timer. And now, you may remember, like about an hour or so ago, that I made a very, very funny joke about being on the graveyard shift. Now, you might have thought, with your very astute viewer brain, that I was referring to the graveyard that was in Act 2. Not so. Because now you can see here, a very on-the-nose metaphor for the game. See? It's graveyard. It was funny. And I know you're all laughing right now, and it's tremendously entertaining. But, unfortunately, the graveyard's now gone. So, I hope you enjoyed that while it lasted. As we get our third fighting style. I can count, I swear.
Oh, I just got the joke.
Ah, I know, it was very clever. And here's my second stamp, by the way, on this game. Well, third if you count the League and Spider. Before I came along, everyone went to the guy on the left to do a fight here. I found out that it's fastest to go to the guy on the right. That saved maybe a few seconds. Again, I'm revolutionizing the format. Much like in Act 1, you want to lose this as fast as possible. Because while there is a very fun thing coming up of a fun little reference and stuff coming up there in this section, unfortunately, you want to lose as fast as possible to get through. She holds out her hand, you shake her hand, and much like the rest of the game, she too is deleted. So now we're doing a bit of a victory lap of sorts, going back through previous foils and whatnot of the game, And as you can see, normally I'd say it's a very familiar looking deck, but considering there's a backup save involved, it's not super familiar looking. As we're back with Leshy, where we get to use our old deck. The only real tech in this section is you have to be careful of where you're clicking and how often you are, because you can accidentally overlap certain text, and certain text is unskippable. And so if you're a bit overzealous with your clicky fingers, then you can have to sit through several seconds at a time of dialogue, which is completely useless to you, where he just says, "You already drew a card this turn," or something to that effect. Either way, you want to avoid it. Oh, I'm drawing from my squirrel deck. What am I doing? I should show you the cards in this deck. There you go. Remember Bullfrog. That friend that we loved seeing so much, and it's very helpful, I swear. Remember Gek, that card we didn't want. Beautiful. Ignore that one. Probably not important. Remember Moosebark? No? Neither. Okay, a few more rounds. So you can actually win this fight, but the fight keeps going regardless for plot reasons. So you actually want to lose it as fast as possible, because that sort of starts the ending process. So you can win it, but it's much, much faster to just lose as fast as possible. And with that, Leshy is gone. Okay, and as we fade out of here, we're going to go for a little sprint. Remember in Act 1, we were able to move before the screen even loaded in. We're going to do that again. Normally there's this huge run up to what we're doing here. But now, we're in the fight before it even loads in. Now, full disclosure, this is the part which normally gets people to reject this run at marathons, because in this section we have 6 minutes of staring at the screen doing nothing. If you at home can figure out a way of skipping this, there is a great deal of people in the Inscryption speedrunning community that would love you forever, because there's literally nothing you can do in this section, and I promise it's not copyright infringement. I mean, it'd be worse if it was called a dual disc. Oh, it's called a dual disc. I promise it's not a very familiar looking game. So, normally at this part, I would probably, I don't know, watch some YouTube or something while waiting for the run to be over. There's a couple of things I can show you just for fun. And bear in mind, the game is not copyright infringement. Remember that. First of all, not in the game. Don't know why it's in the rulebook. Second of all, the head of a DAX... no, maybe we shouldn't worry too much about that one. And I'll show you the entirety of the speedrun strat for this. Are you watching? Did you miss it? It's putting the cursor in the middle of the screen. So at this point, we literally have 6 minutes of nothing. So I will hand it over to commentator if you have any announcements or anything you need to say at this point.
No, we'll just sit in silence.
I mean, we can if you want to.
No, but we do have a $20 donation that's coming from our very wonderful own Synthcat67, sat just next to me here, who says, "Save the animals." I say, "Save the frames." I say, "We kill the animals." And that has gone to the Kill the Animals incentive for the Super Metroid Any Percent Old Route run coming up later today. There is only a couple of dollars actually left in that. I think there's about $30 between them, so it's still up for grabs whether you want to save or kill the animals. It is entirely up to the donations. I also want to shout out that we have now hit a lifetime total at UKSG of over $55,000 raised for charity, which is absolutely incredible. We are only $594 away from $4,000, and we are currently sitting as the 6th highest fundraising UKSG ever, with only $304 left until we become the 5th highest. We'd love to be first, but we're over $3,000 away from that, so and my bank manager is not happy with me, so I'll have to hand that over to everyone else to fill that out.
All right, and you should donate it right now so it happens in my run.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, and this looks like something's happening. It's not. There's like another 3 minutes, so I can just do my shout-outs and stuff now. Because there's nothing better really to do at this time. So if you like this run, the Inscryption community, Discord, we're all very friendly. You can find the link to it on speedrun.com. Very friendly, very helpful. I know I'm always in there. There's several other people that are in there. There's some people in there who have been running the game for like years, ever since it first came out. And it's a really fun run. It looks really complicated, the Unrestricted run that I did. It's not as complicated as it looks, but it is a really fun run to do. So I can recommend that to anyone who feels like doing it. My name is Bersekrer. That's BERSEKRER, twitch.tv /BERSEKRER. I speedrun this. I play a whole bunch of other games as well. Bit of a variety streamer myself. I'm also on a podcast. Do you like manga that's not very good, trash manga, you dare say, and you like listening to some idiots complain about it for a little while having very in-depth discussions about the nuance of what an isekai is, then you can listen to the Trash Manga Friends podcast, available on all podcasting services. It's a good time. I'm on it. That should be all the convincing you need. And yeah, that's pretty much all the shout outs I have. Thank you very much for watching this run. It's always been really fun, even if it doesn't go very well, like with the RNG and stuff. RNG is not a thing that you would ever dare to control because, well, it wouldn't be fun if you could. But yeah, this one is really fun, and got about a minute or two left of this. So I can just explain what's happening in the game here. Basically, the game is deleting. It doesn't really matter if you do this fight or not. Obviously, with the 400 health, that you can't win this fight before the invisible timer runs out. Best I've ever been able to do is 250 life or something. To get down to 250 and get myself down to 250, not get them. It's meant to be impossible. But if you or anyone at home can figure out how to skip this section, there is a lot of people who would love you for it, myself included. It is otherwise it's a very, very fun run. But if you're forced to sit here awkwardly talking and making small talk while it happens, then you can understand why you might want to skip it. We should be coming down to it now because it's linked to the music, and I believe this is the last measure of it. Nope, it's gonna go for one more. Okay. Nope, even more. Alright. Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's coming down to it now. The game is fully deleting. All the basic assets and stuff are all just going. It's dying. Being deleted off of the floppy disk that this game is on. And much like all the other scribes, Magnificus would very much like to come over and shake your hand, even though we didn't actually really fight him all that much. Details, details, details. Crawling towards the sentient bush himself, crawling towards you, and he reaches out his gnarled, knotted hand. It didn't quite make it. Well, game's deleted. This is awkward. Oh, we're alive. Oh hey, here's a character we didn't see. Probably wasn't important. And time. And a bit of a volume warning here. So, yep. Thank you guys very much for watching. It's gonna get a bit loud. And we're done. Okay, thank you very much for watching. This was fun despite the mishaps. Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Thank you so much, bersekrer, for that incredible run of Inscryption. Things always go a little bit wrong at marathons, but we are so grateful for the run. Thank you so much. We're going to go to a short intermission, and we will be back very shortly after with our very own Tombo D99, who will be running God of War. We'll see you in just a moment.
All right, thank you.